Hello everybody, Ben the Pat Tester here. Welcome back to the channel, Caterham Pat Testing. A common question I see that gets asked is people are doing their pat testing sequence on their machine, and their tester, could be either one of these, a Prime Test 100 or an Apollo, and they come back and they say, well, my machine is failing the pat test on the leakage test, as you can see highlighted here. And they say, well, I need to fail the item because my item doesn't pass the leakage test. So a common misconception with the leakage test on a pat test is, especially on the entry-level machines, such as this Prime Test 100 or the Prime Test 50, these particular pat test machines have a set sequence, and you can't override that sequence. And I think a common misconception is people are running, or it just switched itself off there, people are running their earth continuity test and then their insulation test, but then if both of those tests pass, then your pat test, your item passes the pat test. The leakage test is only a supplementary test which you can run if your insulation test is giving, dodgy readings, and sometimes that's because of surge protection inside the item, or there may actually well indeed be an insulation issue with the item, and then you can run a leakage test if that ever happens as a supplementary test. But if you're using a particular machine like this and your item passes the earth continuity and insulation resistance test, then sometimes an item may fail on the leakage test. On these battery-powered machines, it does what's called a sub-leakage test, which are very unreliable tests anyway, and don't always give a clear indication or a good enough reading. So if your item passes the earth continuity and resistance, you're good to pass. Unfortunately, on these entry-level machines, you can't. You can override that test, but obviously it's the last test in the sequence, so there's nothing to override. There's no next test or anything. So people see that the earth passes, insulation resistance passes, and they get to their leakage test and they think, oh, it's not passing, or it doesn't give a reading within tolerance. So just remember now that the leakage pass rate is 5 milliamp for a standard item, or you can see here you can change it on these machines, but some of the older Prime Test machines are still set at the old limit, which is 0.75 milliamp, and you can't change that. So I hope that video helps. See you next time.